got a job over at the mall. While I was working at the mall, Dave got really sick. And we kept going back and forth to the doctor, and he just started throwing up one night. He wasn't really having much pain, other than what he thought was stomach pains. And they tested him for everything until I finally took him to my doctor, who managed to palpate his stomach and say, well, his appendix. It's his appendix. So they took him in for scans and stuff, and it had ruptured. And had actually ruptured and been ruptured for so long it was starting to heal back up. And this went on while I was working at the mall. Well, actually, shortly before this happened, he had encouraged me to pursue a relationship with a female. I have always had an attraction towards women as well as men. It's not a part of my psyche that I ever really explored. I had met somebody I liked, and so I did. And during all this, she ended up moving in with us to stay in the spare bedroom because her roommate was flaky, and that's putting it nicely. He was in so much pain and sick, and I encouraged him to get surgery to fix it, and he was of the, no, let's let it heal up, and they had him on antibiotics and all that. And I got a job, actually Nancy and I both got jobs at a factory that was about an hour's drive from the house. And I had to. Dave wasn't working. He was only getting I forget what percentage of his salary he was getting, because he had insurance and stuff, and he was on sick leave, but it wasn't enough. And so Nancy and I got jobs at this factory, and we were going to be starting on Monday. And my friend Kelly and her daughter Brandy came over and to help me do one really good house clean before I started working full time, because I was going to be full time second shift. That night, after we were done cleaning and Kelly and Brandy were getting ready to leave, Dave, who had been acting bizarre anyway, comes out of the bedroom and basically threatens me with a pocket knife, and starts going on about how horrible a person I am, how I've ruined his life, how I did this to him and I did that to him and all of this stuff. And we're all just standing there going, what in the hell? Because it was just all crazy shit. And I was just stunned, and I'm just like, what the hell is this? To be quite honest with you, before even that, I think he kind of smoked himself stupid. But because he had to have his weed to function. But I think all of the toxins that hit his bloodstream really screwed his brain up. Massively screwed his brain up. And he ended up moving out and going and staying with his dad. And at that point I was fine with it. You threaten me with a knife. I'm doing all of this for us so that we can keep our home. And you have to tell me how I've destroyed your life whatever. Nancy and I stayed together, and we were together for about a year, until I guess she decided she liked this other girl better, and that's all she could talk about, and the cuddling stopped, the affection stopped, and I knew it was over. So, you know, you got to move on. When it's over, it's over. So, Dave and I ended up getting back together, and we were together off and on. He would do things like, if he'd get pissed off at me, he wouldn't tell me why. And he'd stomp around the house, and he wouldn't answer me when I spoke to him, and he wouldn't look at me. And then when he did look at me, it was just with this pissed off, hateful look. You know, like, bitch, I want to kill you. You know, that kind of just... He wasn't the person that I'd married. And I don't know who he was.